State of the State address was this week, Senator. Your reaction to what you heard from the governor?
Governor and I agree on a lot of things, including one of the biggest things, putting more money toward I-70 to add a third lane on I-70. Basically, plan calls for a third lane starting from Kansas City and working toward mid-Missouri, as well as a third lane from St. Louis and working toward mid-Missouri. And that is definitely one of the things that I can support. I've always been a proponent of using these one-time federal funds for one-time expenditures. As far as the rest of his budget, I do have some concerns about it. It appears that we're using one-time funds for ongoing expenses, and so I will be taking a keen eye to see what exactly those programs will not only cost today, but how we will fund those programs in the future when those federal funds are not available. One of the things that the governor did not mention in his State of the State was a tax cut for Missourians and Missouri businesses. I know we were able to pass a small income tax cut this past special session, but I believe that the tax burden is still too high on Missouri individuals as well as Missouri businesses, and I would like to see another tax cut passed this year.
As we know from past years, it's not so much what we see from the governor in January as what we see in the final budget in May. There's a lot of time between now and second Friday or first Friday, in this case, in May.
That's right. I always say the budget process is a marathon, not a sprint. And so now that the governor has issued his budget proposals, we and the Senate, and as a member of the Senate Appropriations Committee, will take a look line by line on his budget proposals. Like I said, I do agree with his analysis to put some money into our roads, especially I-70. I thought that's what the gas tax was supposed to be for, is to improve our roads, but I've not seen a lot of improvement on our roads and bridges since the gas tax was passed. However, I do have some concerns regarding some of the other proposals and how we would fund those on an ongoing basis, especially expansion in state employees, increasing the amount of state employees, as well as increasing some social service programs. Those were never meant to be funded with one-time dollars to increase those programs. We definitely need to take a look at how those would be funded in the future if we were to approve those programs.
First committee hearings held this week as well. Your Economic Development and Tax Policy Committee in action. A couple of bills on that one. One of those is Senate Bill 3.
Yes, I was excited to get started as chairman of the Senate Economic Development and Tax Policy Committee. We did hear Senate Bill 3, which is the Regulatory Sandbox Bill, which basically mirrors programs in other states and provides temporary relief from regulation for our businesses, especially when they come up with a new product or design. So we want to encourage innovation as well as entrepreneurship here in the state of Missouri, and the Regulatory Sandbox Bill would definitely do that. One of the other bills we did here was Senate Bill 8. Senate Bill 8 would phase out the personal property taxes. As every Missourian has experienced over these past couple years, our personal property taxes have increased tremendously because of inflation. This especially puts a burden on many of our senior citizens and those on a fixed income. I was glad to hear Senate Bill 8, which would phase out the personal property taxes over a long period of time as real property taxes increase. So basically, as real property taxes increase, and that's the taxes you pay on your home or dwelling, the corresponding personal property tax that you pay on your cars and vehicles would decrease.